This is United Network News with Sunny Galt, Calen Gipp, Kimberly Gogan, and our field messengers from around the world. Here's today's real news.
It's Monday, June 30th, 2025, and here are today's stories. More fires in California. Outside Redding, Field Messenger Gary updates us on the situation. Rare earth minerals power everything from your smartphone to renewable energy. Did you know China controls most of their production and refining? We'll dig into the environmental and social costs behind this global dominance. In eastern Uganda, a community is turning to a simple borehole water pump to access clean, safe water. Field Messenger Maureen shows us how this vital resource changes lives. New York City is a world-famous adventure, full of iconic landmarks and amazing food. But the growing piles of trash on its sidewalks threaten to spoil the magic. Why is the Big Apple facing such a garbage crisis? In Phoenix, Arizona, Military Support Foundation is sending care packages and essential resources to active duty service members and their families. Field Messenger Rick sits down with the founder to learn more. Artificial intelligence is reshaping the workplace, but some companies may be rushing it, and customers are starting to push back. We'll explore what's fueling the debate. And in the Canary Islands, the Day of the Canary Islands brings music, dance, food, and rich traditions to celebrate their unique culture and history. Field Messenger Emma takes us inside the festivities.
After receiving evacuation alert in Redding, California, UNN Field Messenger Gary brings us updates throughout the day.
This is Gary with United Network News reporting live from Redding, California. And earlier I sent a video of the fire just to the west of me after receiving a notice on my phone about an evacuation area, thinking it was my home in Texas. And nope, it was right here in Redding. We're getting a lot of air support and have been for the past 10 minutes. Helicopter and lots of planes. They're flying in trying to put this out because it's just south of a lot of major housing and south of downtown Redding. But I'm in this evacuation zone, and looks like they're getting it put out because it's dying down. It's getting pretty bolstery and black up in the air there earlier. I got an alarm just a minute ago, flashed on my phone, said to evacuate, and between which roads, and I'm like, well, not sure where these roads are because I'm here on assignment temporarily. So I look it up on the map, and it's just to the west of me, so I decide to step outside. I step outside the Durango, and this is what I see. I see a fire, pretty good fire just to the west of us. And it says to evacuate. So I just spoke with one of the neighbors, and he said, are you going to evacuate? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm got lots of space between you and there. But update on the fire here in Redding, California, that I'm in the evacuation zone. As you can see, what contributes to fires this time of the year is just the lack of water, lack of rain. We're in the dry season. I think temperature here today is about 104. It's supposed to be 106 tomorrow. And just dry heat. You can see all along here the dry grass, dry dead grass. They don't water in the summertime to keep grass growing. It's just no water supply. But you can see all the way down this old dry wood fence. The grass areas all the way to the back of the RV park is just dry. Anyway, it looks like the fire is under control. They've been dropping water on it. There's been a lot of planes and helicopters flying over, and most of them are either getting it all put out. Anyway, reporting live from Redding, California, this is Gary. Have a good day.
Rare earth minerals are the backbone of modern technology. powering everything from smartphones to renewable energy systems. But here's the thing. China dominates the global supply, handling both production and refining. However, there's a dark side to this dominance. The mining process comes with hefty environmental and social costs that are tough to overlook. China produces 70% of the world's rare earths, while the rest comes from Myanmar, Australia, and the United States. China also processes 90% of the global supply, according to the New York Times. This includes nearly all of Myanmar's production and half of what's produced in the U.S. But mining rare earths isn't just destructive, it's downright toxic. The Harvard International Review magazine says for every 1,000 tons of rare earth minerals produced, 2,000 tons of toxic waste is created. That's not just a number, it's a serious red flag. The impact of this destructive process is glaringly obvious in Myanmar's Chipui region. According to Myanmar Resource Watch, mining in this area has led to severe environmental destruction and economic struggles, especially since the 2021 military coup. It's hit livelihoods hard. 70% of people here rely on farming, forestry, and fishing to make a living. Rivers are so polluted, fish can't survive, leaving more than 96% of households without clean drinking water. On top of that, locals are dealing with unemployment, health problems, poor health care, limited education, and transportation issues.
In recent years, rare earth mines have appeared across Myanmar's northern mountains at an alarming rate. Toxic chemicals are injected into the hillside, causing heavy rare earth elements to be leached from the land. From 2021 to 2023, Myanmar's exports of rare earths to China, where they are processed, has more than doubled. This supply is coming from often unregulated and in some cases illegal mines, and it is having a devastating impact on communities and the environment. Workers from across the region have reported health issues including coughing, skin conditions and kidney problems. And the chemicals they work with have reached the streams where people once drank and fished. Myanmar's rare earth trade is worth $1.4 billion. But these benefits are only reaching those that run the mines and the corporations using these minerals in their products, while the local population suffers the effects of a poisoned environment.
If the minerals are depleted, what will people do for a living? After mining, nothing can grow there anymore. The ground becomes barren, all mining sites are left as is. The local government leaves them as they are. There are old shelters, pipes, and plastic, all left as scattered heaps. Nothing can grow there anymore.
And it's not just rare earths. Myanmar also plays a leading role in the jade industry, supplying around 70% of the world's jade, according to the Business Insider, with most of it coming from Paykant and Kachin State. The demand is driven by China, where jade symbolizes wealth and prosperity, making it extremely valuable. While the industry generates billions, the darker side includes dangerous working conditions, environmental destruction, and political corruption. Activists point out profits often end up funding both the military government and rebel groups, leaving local communities to bear the brunt of the harm.
This is jadeite, a stone that is rarer than a diamond. And the hunt for it is so deadly, the jewel is known as blood jade. The hills in Myanmar's Kachin State hold nearly all of it. Every year, dozens of miners are buried and killed by landslides. But what really goes on here has mostly remained a mystery, because the mines are guarded by the military 24/7. So we had to film on a phone. Reports suggest Chinese companies illegally operate the mines and allegedly exploit desperate workers.
လိုအပ်ကိုဒီမူရစေးနဲ့ရှင်းပေးတာကတော့ခုနကပြောလို့ပေါ့အချိန်ပြည့်လုံနိုင်အောင်လို့ထုတ်ပေးတဲ့ဟိုကတော့
About 90% of the jade mined here is smuggled across the border into China, where it's considered a sacred stone.
Meanwhile, Myanmar's gold rush is creating its own set of problems. Satellite data has shown unregulated gold mines are spreading near the Thai-Myanmar border, and the environmental damage they're causing is alarming. These mines are polluting international waterways with heavy metals and chemicals like arsenic, threatening ecosystems and communities downstream. Without proper oversight, these operations are leaving rivers, wildlife, and the people who depend on them in a tough spot.
In the muddy waters of northern Thailand, fishermen cast out their lines. But they're not looking for fish. They're collecting samples to try and find out what's been poisoning the waterways and their source of income.
When we bring fish to sell, the middlemen sometimes stop buying them. Even if they do buy, they can't resell them.
For the last few months, fish caught in these rivers, close to the border with Myanmar, have been showing signs of poor health. Locals believe the rivers have high levels of arsenic, and they know the source.
They should go fix it at the source. We already know where the contamination is coming from. I want the government and responsible agencies to deal with the root cause.
Just across the border, the rolling green hills have been torn apart. It's believed to be a gold mine run by a Chinese company. And in the lawless borderlands of Shan State, no regulation or environmental protection. Frustration's been building in Thailand that such an essential resource is under threat, but with no cooperation from Myanmar, there's not much the Thai authorities can do.
This is the kind of environmental damage that you might only see once in a lifetime. It's so serious that now I can only stand and look at the river. I don't dare go into the water anymore.
Some hope that the monsoon rains will dilute pollutants before permanent damage is done. But if there is a pot of gold at the end of this rainbow, further extraction will come at a heavy cost.
All of this shows a harsh truth. The shiny gadgets, precious stones, and green technologies we love often come at a steep cost. Behind the scenes, there's a trail of environmental damage and human exploitation that fuels their creation. It's a tough reality, but one we can't afford to ignore. And the first step is awareness. We must acknowledge and educate ourselves on the true costs behind these products.
In an eastern Ugandan community, residents rely on a borehole water pump to conveniently access safe and clean water. UNN Field Messenger Maureen shows us how it's done.
Yes, I'm Maureen, Field Messenger, UNN, coming to you from eastern Uganda. Today we are looking at the borehole. This is called a borehole, and we pump it up and down to get water. Yes, there are many people who come at this source to get water from different places around here. This place looks to be bushy, but there are many people inside that bush, so they come from there. You can see that's a home around there. So there are homes, but they are inside the bush. So they come around. There is another home there. They come around to get water from this source. Oh, Jesus. Even the cows that you're seeing, they're also coming here to get water. Yeah, so this is how we do it in Uganda, and this is how we get water from the borehole. This borehole was donated by Haj Medin. Yes, it was donated by Haj Medin. So I'm here helping the cows to get water. I'm helping them to get water. I think you're seeing, yes, they are drinking the water that I'm giving them. Yes, thank you so much. Field Messenger Maureen from eastern Uganda. Thank you.
Visiting New York City is an adventure like no other. Iconic landmarks, amazing food, and an energy that never stops buzzing. But let's be real, nothing kills the magic of strolling through the Big Apple faster than the sight and, unfortunately, the smell of garbage piling up on the sidewalks. So why does a city so full of excitement and charm have to come with a side of trash? It's no secret that New York City, or NYC, struggles with waste. The 2023 NYC Waste Characterization Study found the average household produces nearly 1,900 pounds of trash every year. That's a lot of garbage. Yet the Citizens Budget Commission says only about 17% of it actually gets recycled, despite efforts like the 2020 plastic bag ban. Most of the city's trash heads to landfills upstate, neighboring states like Pennsylvania and New Jersey, or even as far as Virginia. And it's not cheap either. A city comptroller report revealed in 2024, NYC spent more than $506 million just to collect and transport residential waste to landfills and incinerators.
What you see when you look at the street in New York closely is trash. There's trash all over the place. When you watch sanitation workers pick up trash, you realize how many things they're dealing with all the time. Like the cars are parked very tight, so they have to drag bags between cars. Oftentimes they can't roll bins between cars, or they're dragging trash kind of through tree pits. Part of the, problem here is that if you've ever been driving in New York City and you're stuck behind a trash truck, you just got to sit. And you sit and you wait, and then people start to get impatient, and then they honk, and the cars back up. In 1968, there was a sanitation workers strike. This strike went on for more than a week. And while this was happening, the plastics industry dropped a whole bunch of plastic bags on the city. It was like a new invention at the time. You used to have to put your trash in a can, in a kind of metal, loud Oscar the Grouch trash can. But after the strike, sanitation workers thought the bags were easier to sling. They could drag them between cars easier. They weren't loud. And so, we are stuck with these plastic bags.
In 2023, NYC implemented new rules regarding trash to be stored in rodent-proof bins instead of plastic bags on sidewalks to combat rats and improve cleanliness. Starting with businesses in 2023 and expanding to residential buildings in 2024, the rules aim to reduce garbage exposure and mechanize waste collection. Since 70% of the city's trash is now containerized, rat sightings have dropped significantly, with some areas seeing a 55% reduction. Residents report cleaner streets, less odor, and fewer pests scavenging. Fines for noncompliance began in January 2025, marking a major step toward a cleaner, safer city. The city's efforts to improve waste management didn't stop there. Composting is now mandatory for all NYC residents, while the sanitation department began enforcing composting rules on April 1st, 2025. Things haven't been entirely smooth. Some residents complained about confusing guidelines, prompting officials to pause certain fines. That said, buildings with more than 30 units are still subject to $100 fines after 4 warnings. Full enforcement is set to roll out citywide by the end of the year.
Collecting compost is something Rochelle Mandina says she did a few years ago.
I would open my pail, and there would be bugs flying all over the inside of it. So I stopped doing it.
But once again, she's back to collecting scraps, or she faces a fine. The New York City Department of Sanitation says they've issued a little over 3,500 citations since April 1st. But Mandina is concerned she could face fines for other reasons.
So now if I leave my pail out here and somebody comes along and steals it every week, I have to pay for that.
Sheila Jenkins says collecting the compost hasn't been ideal compared to what she's done years before.
Instead of putting it in the garbage every night, I have to scrape the plates and put the bag in the refrigerator. because the stench would have me crazy.
Hearing issues with compost bins and enforcement has become common for District 13 council member Christy Marmorato.
I have one neighborhood that had 150 tickets for composting, and it's very frustrating. People don't know what to do, and it's a learning curve.
Marmorato says she and other council members are wanting to see the mandatory separation changed. The Department of Sanitation says during the second week of the enforcement, they've collected nearly 3.6 million pounds of compost. Although the mandate is geared towards helping the environment, some would like the department to revisit its way about collecting compost.
I would love to see them go away.
They keep adding more rules, more rules.
New York City isn't stopping there. The city is experimenting with bigger changes, literally. The M9 containerization pilot program, which aims to replace those unsightly sidewalk garbage heaps with trash bins. The first neighborhood to adopt the system will be Manhattan's Community District 9, which includes Morningside Heights, Manhattanville, and Hamilton Heights, starting June 1st, 2025 through May 31st, 2026. Large buildings will use Empire bins, while smaller ones will have wheelie bins, with trash pickups happening several times a week. The program hopes to improve cleanliness, reduce worker injuries, and even cut down on rat sightings. Sounds like a win, but not everyone's sold. Some residents think the bins are an eyesore, while drivers are already frustrated about losing parking spaces. And rolling out this program citywide won't be easy. It could cost hundreds of millions of dollars and eliminate 50,000 parking spots, creating challenges for future city leaders.
Building Supervisor Cesar Jimenez can't sing its praises enough. He says one Empire waste bin is enough to hold trash for his 36-unit apartment building in Morningside Heights.
In the past, we have to bring the garbage at night. With this thing, we can bring it out anytime and keep the building inside clean.
Only those responsible for a building's waste management can have a key card to access the bins. About 1,100 of them have already been installed.
They take up parking places. We don't own a car, but we do rent them, and it's really, really tight now.
Now, I have to go too far to find a parking, and that takes me 30 minutes sometimes.
Whether you see them as a problem solver, a space waster, or just something to lean on while on a phone call, it's a big first.
The first time in North America, we're using automated side loading trucks to service our Empire bins.
This as the city reports 6 straight months of a decline in 311 calls about rat sightings. Dable Camming, who's noticed less of a trash smell on hot days, says the timing's just right.
Usually don't wear sandals in New York because of the rats.
So now you feel comfortable to wear them?
Yeah, in a 90-degree day, yep.
Others are waiting and seeing.
I think it's not really the solution, but I'm not sure what the solution is. I guess time will tell.
Whether or not the pilot will expand is based on its results over the coming weeks and months.
So while New York City is making strides toward a cleaner future, there's still a long way to go. Whether it's composting, rodent-proof bins, or big trash containers, the city's waste problem is slowly being reined in, but not without its fair share of hiccups along the way.
Hello, I'm Susan from Sweden.
Mwanda Michael from Eastern Uganda, Africa.
Hi, I'm Tim from Vancouver, Canada.
I'm Titesha Togav from Manipur State, India. I'm Wumba Obasi from Southeast Nigeria.
Arnaito Chakrini from Western Uganda, Mbarara.
At United Network News, you are the news.
My name's Christina, Field Messenger, report first one in the hurricane down here in Southern California from Mexico.
Real people reporting real stories from all around the world. At UNN, our field messengers are changing the face of news.
This is Jason from United Network News. We're going to be doing some aircrete building with new technologies that allow us to live in comfort and also off the grid.
Take the next step in changing the way the world gets the news. Become a UNN field messenger today.
I am Michelle from South Africa, and we are the United Network News.
I am United Network News.
I'm United Network News.
If it is going to be, then it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to me.
Si va a ser así, depende de mí. It's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to all of us. We're UNN.
The Military Support Foundation in Phoenix, Arizona offers care packages and resources to active duty military personnel and their families. UNN Field Messenger Rick talks with the founder of the foundation.
Hi, good morning. My name is Rick and I'm reporting for United Network News here in Phoenix, Arizona. And I want to tell you about the Military Support Foundation. And I want to tell you about some amazing work they're doing working only with active duty military. There is a great need that is hidden, and the Military Support Foundation has targeted that need and is really doing some amazing work to put a big dent into it. I'm here at the foundation store, and I'm talking with Reness, the founder of the Military Support Foundation.
So we at Military Support Foundation, we adopt units before they deploy. So we're not just responsible for the soldier and their care packages while they're deployed, but most importantly, their families. So their families we take care of with all of their grocery needs every Sunday. And we make sure for Thanksgiving that they get a Thanksgiving dinner box, and their kids are taken care of for Christmas. So when our soldiers come home after a deployment, we make sure that that homecoming is a special day for everyone involved. So every family member receives bouquets of flowers to give to their loved ones. We set up tables so those kids can make signs welcoming their loved ones home.
So I have one question for you, Reness. If you had more resources like people, locate facilities, what could you do with that?
So what we would like to do is we would like to open a test facility warehouse where we could actually produce ready-to-eat meals that can be thrown into a freezer. So every base we would provide a freezer full.
Reporting from Phoenix, Arizona, Rick, United Network News. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Artificial intelligence is taking over the workplace. At least that's what some companies seem to be aiming for. But lately, it's becoming clear many brands might be getting ahead of themselves, and customers are starting to push back. Take Klarna, for example. A few years ago, the CEO of this buy now, pay later service bragged about turning the company into OpenAI's favorite guinea pig, freezing hiring and swapping out people for AI wherever possible. For a while, the fintech giant proudly claimed its AI did the work of 700 customer service giants, but customers weren't impressed. Now Klarna is backpedaling, planning to hire more humans to bring back quality and real conversations. Even the CEO admits focusing too much on cost savings hurts service, and human support is the real way forward. Duolingo, a language learning app, recently jumped on the same AI-first train, cutting contractors for tasks AI can handle and promising to hire only when every automation option is used up. The backlash was swift. Users flooded TikTok with comments demanding real people run the company, calling the move disgusting and vowing to delete the app. In response, Duolingo went radio silent, clearing out its social feeds and then posting bizarre cryptic videos starring a masked rebel owl that took aim at the company's AI push, including this one featuring the company's CEO.
I'm making the man who caused this mess accountable for his behavior. I'm demanding answers from the CEO, Luis Von On.
I know you're upset. I know people are upset. I want to make this right, and I'll answer any questions you may have.
First question. So are there going to be any more humans left at this company?
Our employees are what make Duolingo so amazing. Our app is so great because our employees made it. Our social media presence is so funny and unhinged, not because I did that or because an AI did that. It's because our employees did. So we're going to continue having employees. And not only that, we're actually going to be hiring more employees.
How do we know that these aren't just empty promises? As long as you're in charge, we could still get shuffled out once the media fire dies down. And we all know that in terms of automation, CEO should be the first to go.
AI is a fundamental shift. It's going to change how we all do work, including me. And honestly, I don't really know what's going to happen, but I want us as a company to have our workforce prepared by really knowing how to use AI so that we can be more efficient with it.
And it's not just a social media thing. Studies back this up. Research from Harvard points out people naturally feel uneasy when technology threatens to take over tasks completely rather than just assist us. And according to the World Economic Forum, nearly half of Gen Z job seekers feel AI has already made their college degrees less valuable. So, while executives celebrate efficiency and record profits, a lot of regular people feel left out and disposable. This doesn't mean companies should throw out AI altogether. Used wisely, it can make services faster and more personalized. The problem is when businesses treat it like a magic cost-cutting tool and forget the human element that makes their product or service special in the first place. If companies want to avoid repeating Klarna and Duolingo's missteps, they need to think bigger than just saving money. Customers are sending a clear message. They don't hate AI itself. They hate when it feels like a replacement for real people and genuine care. That's why embracing responsible AI is crucial. Companies must use AI in a way that's transparent, ethical, and focused on enhancing, not replacing, the human experience.
The reality is we have to remember AI is just very sophisticated pattern recognition. It's incredibly powerful and can perform some tasks, even in fact some strategy games, better than people. But at the end of the day, it is people that is building AI. And it's incumbent upon us to think about what are the risks of that system? How are we building it in a way that empowers people rather than replaces them? Everybody involved with AI products, whether they're building them, deploying them, or using them, have a responsibility to make sure that they're operating in an ethical way. For users, that means really being able to step back and saying, what is the intended use of this system? Do I know how to properly use it? Do I know the limitations? Do I know the assumptions embedded within it? And it's their duty to really dig in and make sure they know those things before they begin using it. It's in businesses' interest to earn society's trust because they want to maintain the ability to continue to use and deploy AI in their business practices. We talk a lot about the need for trust in AI and along with it, the need to build a social license. And what we mean there is, companies have the legal right to operate AI. That's a given. But they need the express approval of their customers, of their employees, of society to continue to use AI. If they don't have it, they'll find that the customers go away, employees don't want to work there. In some cases, we've even seen litigation brought against companies. And so for them to be able to continue to operate AI, to have the competitive advantage that it brings, they need to earn that social license and earn that trust.
Smaller businesses are showing you don't need to be a big tech company to use AI in a thoughtful way. Many local shops and indie online stores use simple AI chatbots to handle quick questions, but always make it easy to reach a real person when needed. Small marketing teams lean on AI to draft basic ads or schedule social posts so they can focus on fresh ideas and real client connections. Plenty of businesses use AI behind the scenes to handle boring paperwork or send reminders, freeing up time for meaningful work only humans can do.
83% of U.S. SMBs are already using AI in their marketing. So many SMBs are already using AI today, whether they know it or not. And it's because we use AI technology seamlessly within our ad products. But I also hear about tons of small businesses who are really embracing this technology. For example, one of the SMBs we work with is a snack food company in New Jersey, and they are using Google Meet and Gemini to have real-time translation conversations with suppliers from all around the world. Another company that we work with, Little Sleepies, they make family pajamas. They are a small but mighty team, but they don't have a lot of marketing staff.
If companies want to build lasting relationships, they should stop chasing quick savings and focus on earning real trust that keeps customers coming back. Be honest when we're chatting with a bot. Use AI to help people, not replace them. And really listen when we say we still want a human touch. AI can be a helpful tool, but it can't replace real people.
The Day of the Canary Islands is celebrated annually with music, dancing, food, and traditions to honor their unique culture and history. UNN Field Messenger Emma shares the history and festivities of this important holiday.
Hi, my name is Emma. I'm a field messenger for UNN, reporting from Fuerteventura, Spain in Europe.
This report is going to be about the Canary Day, El Día de Canaria, which is a celebration of the Canary Islands once a year with song and dance. And as you can see behind me, there are rigged tents and there's free food. And tonight is going to be a super party.
So here they have rigged the stage. It's going to be music, dancing. It's going to be a big party.
The Canary Islands are an autonomous community of Spain and have belonged to Spain since 1479. The National Day of Spain commemorates the discovery of the Americas by Christopher Columbus for Spain in October 1492. This date is a key point for Spain's overseas influence and legacy in the world. The Day of the Canary Islands, or the Día de Canarias, is celebrated every year on May the 30th. It is a public holiday in all of the 7 Canary Islands. The day was chosen as the anniversary of the first session of Parliament of the Canary Islands, which was held May 30th, 1983, so it's not that long ago. The celebration generally includes cultural activities and private gatherings celebrating all things Canarian, including traditional food, sports, special football, dancing, and music. The Statutes of Autonomy of the Canary Islands recognize the festivity of the 30th of May as one of the official symbols, together with the flag, the coat of arms, and the hymn of the Canary Islands, which they sing and dance to. The flag of the autonomous community of the Canary Island is white, blue, and yellow, so it's different from the Spanish flag. The Statute of Autonomy of the Canary Islands was published 10th of August 1982, 42 years ago. This Spanish law recognizes the right of the Canary Islands to a degree of self-government within the Kingdom of Spain and under its constitution. So therefore the Canary Island has its own parliament, it has a government, it has a high court justice within the judicial system of Spain. It has its own flag and coat of arms, and the Canary Island has its own hymn. The celebration of this day is to remind people of the old traditions. Since all of the islands are living off tourism, it's easy to forget the original traditions of the Canarian people. And as you can see from the pictures and the videos, the majority of old people are educating the young people of the Canarian way. So this is probably how it is all over the world. You have to remind people of what the traditions are. They don't come naturally through daily life. So thank you for watching. See you next time.
UNN is changing the face of news. Join us for our weekly Field Messenger meetings and learn how you can make a difference. Visit unitednetwork.earth for more information. Thanks for watching.